How's it going, everybody? This is the TheMetachaser13x here, and I am bringing you a Pokemon analysis slash upgrade kind of video for the fossil root Pokemon Cradily from 3rd generation. And for those of you that are familiar with this Pokemon, he is an absolute brute in Sandstorm, but I'm going to talk about some very, very nice upgrades that Cradily got in 5th generation. So, with all that said, how about we get started, eh? So, as you see here, it has the dual rock and grass typing, which is pretty awesome, um, making you resistant to electric and normal type attacks, but you are weak to bug, ice, steel, and fighting type moves, which is pretty unfortunate, seeing how fighting type Pokemon are a lot more common these days. So just really be on the lookout, especially when you're using this guy. Um, as for its abilities, one of them is Suction Cups, which you get by default, and what that does is basically negates any effects from phasing out moves. In other words, moves like Roar, Whirlwind, Dragon Tail, and Circle Throw. Um, and it can be pretty annoying if your opponent is relying heavily on forcing you to switch out constantly and racking up damage with hazards. So the other ability is known as Storm Drain, and it's a really awesome ability. And what this does is any water type attacks that get sent your way, it not only deals no damage to you, but it gives you a nice special attack boost by one stage. So that's really awesome. As for its stats, it has 86 HP, 97 physical defense, and 107 special defense, which is actually really, really good defenses and definitely can be capable of taking hits when it has to. Um, and you definitely can run a defensive set on either side or a mixed defensive toxic stalling set, but everyone pretty much knows about those sort of sets, so I'm not going to be doing them in this video. I'm going to be focusing more on how to use this Cradily offensively. Um, and with its 81 attack and 81 special attack, those really aren't that bad offensive stats either. Like, these are one of few Pokemon that can actually hit back pretty hard as well as get hit hard and get back up again. So, I think that's really awesome. As for its speed, it's at a disappointing 43, but if you're using a Trick Room team, then this stat can be very beneficial. Um, and this guy can also be a monster in Sandstorm, and you'll see why a little later on. So with that, I'm going to take you now to the first set. Let's go! So the first set that I have here, it's going to be a full-on attacking set. Um, Now its nature is going to be adamant. The EVs are 252 into HP, 252 into attack, and 6 into speed. Just to give you that one more speed point. And you're probably wondering, well, why not invest into something like defense or special defense? Well, the thing is if you're, say, going up against a Cradily who has basically the same nature, same set, or he could be even running like a stalling set, putting 252 EVs in HP and 252 EVs into something else like defense or special defense. Um, if you happen to put your remaining investments into speed, that would actually be very crucial, especially in a battle, because you will always be outspeeding that opponent be it that he put his remaining EVs into something else. If he put it into speed, then it would happen to be a speed tie. So just to be sure, I would highly recommend that you put the rest of your investment into speed. Even if it is just by 1 point, that could be a huge advantage in battle. So the item I have for choice is, actually, I have two of them. There's leftovers for one, and then there's quick claw for another, and I'll explain why as I get into the move sets. Now, as for the moves, we got Seed Bomb, which is a very nice stab grass type move, nice base 80. The next move that we have is Smackdown, which is only base 50, but what it does is it basically negates any flying type or levitate abilities. In other words, if you were to use Earthquake, which is the next move I have here, then it would essentially hit. So if you were to go up against like a Zapdos, which is a part flying type, or an Electros, which has that levitate ability, you could hit it for Earthquake and essentially take it out, since both are weak to ground type attacks. However, if you don't plan on using Smackdown, which by the way is a move that was introduced into 5th generation, you can use Stone Edge. The accuracy is a little bit shaky, but when it hits, it's very rewarding. The next slot is Earthquake. And like I said before, it goes well with Smackdown if you're dealing with flying type Pokemon who happen to be weak, who happen to have a secondary type that would otherwise be weak to ground types attacks. So, sorry about that. But if you're not running the move Smackdown and you're running Stone Edge instead, then you're gonna want to use Recover, and that's where you want to use Quick Claw, because it occasionally lets you strike first, and leftovers heals a little bit of your HP at a time. So, um, the last move I have here is Swords Dance, which is used to boost your attack up by 2 stages, and it's really nice. So the way I see it is, if you're running a set with leftovers, let it be Seed Bomb, Smackdown, Earthquake, and Swords Dance. If it's with Quick Claw, Seed Bomb, Stone Edge, Recover, and Swords Dance. And just on a side note here, in my Pokemon Platinum game, I actually swept Palmer's first round team with just a Cradily. Um, it was because his Milotic actually missed its Hypnosis, and it allowed me to set up and just completely just annihilate his team, just one hit KO after another after another. So it was really nice. I don't know what else to say about this set. I actually think it's very amazing, and I'd like to call it an original set, because I really haven't heard of too many people who would use an offensive Cradily, especially with a Swords Dance or anything like that. I do have another set, though. I've gone on long enough about this one, so let's move on to the other one. So before I get into this set here, I just want to briefly say that I forgot to mention its ability in the last set. It's going to be Suction Cups. And what that does, in case you forgot at the beginning of the video, it's a way to prevent you from being forced out by moves like Roar and Whirlwind. And in the 5th generation, 2 new ones were introduced, and that's Dragon Tail and Circle Throw. Not only do they force you to switch out, but they cause damage too. So, just a little tidbit of information there. So, with this set that I have here right now, it's a special set, and what this one is going to be doing is taking full advantage of its ability Storm Drain, Um, it's going to be modest, and Storm Drain basically negates any damage from water type moves and gives you a +1 special attack boost, which is always nice. As for the EVs, my choice is 252 into HP, 128 into defense, and 128 into special attack. Now the reason for the small investment in the defense is if you're in a sandstorm, it already boosts your special defense up, your stellar defense, I should special defense up. Sorry, completely tongue tied there. Your special defense in Sandstorm is boosted by 1 stage. So I figured, you know what? Let's invest a little bit in its physical defense, so it won't be so vulnerable and open to physical attacks. Um, but you can choose to invest fully into its special attack if you want, and put the remaining into speed. But I like to keep it, in this case, as offensively and defensively as possible, if that makes any sense. As for the moves, the first one is Energy Ball, and I put a slash there for Giga Drain, and the reason I have a question mark there is I'm not sure if Giga Drain and Storm Drain together are legal. Um, I mean, if you had a Cradily with Giga Drain and you bred it with a Cradily that has a Storm Drain ability, I'm pretty sure that you can get the move Giga Drain and the ability Storm Drain, but don't quote me on it, okay? Um, so the next move is Ancient Power, which is a rock type move, and what that does is it has a 10% chance of increasing all your stats by 1 stage. So when you get that boost, it feels pretty nice. The next move that we have here is Sludge Bomb. It's a really nice uh, base 90 power move with a 30% chance to inflict poison, and that's terrific. That's really good. And the last move that we have here is Recover, so that when you're down on HP, you can just easily recover back half your HP and thus last a lot longer in battle. Um, so that's pretty much it for this set here, for this Pokemon. Ever since I first seen it, I just completely thought it was awesome. Kind of funny looking, but at the same time, really freaking amazing. So don't count this Pokemon out just because it has more weaknesses than it does resistances. It's very tricky in Sandstorm, and it can be a total pain in the ass. I've tried it with Sandstorm before, and believe me, it works. So that's all I have for today, folks. I certainly hope you enjoyed this Pokemon upgrade slash analysis. And, well, if you have any requests for other analysis that I should do, or a Pokemon that you like, just either write a comment in this video or personal message me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Take care, and see you next video.